Hello all and welcome to The Big Story, a daily news show where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Zhao coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a comment, like and share it with your friends, as well as hit the bell to be told whenever we go live. I will be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues today to discuss what got you talking today. Our first story: 3 popular international schools in Singapore allow expatriate families to secure places for their children, largely paid for by companies looking to attract expats to work here. With me to talk about this is Amelia, our education correspondent. Hello. Could you explain this phenomenon to us? How do they do this?
So different schools call it different names. Teng Lin Trust School calls it a placement right scheme. Singapore American School has a guaranteed placement program. And United World College calls it a nominee program. So usually it's the firms that are paying for the places in these schools, and the schools are very clear to note that these are not donations, but more of like purchasing of places or subscriptions. So for instance, in UWC, the firms would buy a subscription for a place in the school, and this would be valid for like about 8 years. And in those 8 years, the firm can nominate different employees' children to be on that spot. So overall, the child also still needs to meet the school's entry criteria, like academic ability, English language proficiency. So it's not entirely a free pass to get into the school.
Although it is easier.
It is easier, yeah. And the schools also have waiting lists, so because these are very popular schools, and the firms can also pay to push up or bump up a nominee's position on these waiting lists so that you are nearer the top and you can stand a better chance of getting into the school.
I see. So what would you say is sort of the rationale behind this?
So the rationale is mainly a business decision because the number of places on these schemes is small. They're very limited seats, although the schools didn't want to disclose how many places they would give out every year. But it's about attracting global talent, and the companies know that, for families, for parents, a huge factor in considering whether to relocate your whole family is whether you can get a good quality education outside your home country. And so they tie up with these very popular international schools. There are top 4 schools in Singapore that are very popular among the expat parents. And they are known by parents for their high academic rigor, their high IB scores, and good teaching programs and good teachers.
Right.
To offer such schemes. And so that's the rationale, is really to attract the employees to work here, and to move them, you need to move their whole families as well.
Right. And all parents sort of care for their kids, and especially for their education, right? So, and I think Singaporean parents also care a lot for their kids. So does this happen in local schools?
So it's quite a different picture over at our local schools, which they don't allow any buying of places, whether by companies or by individuals, whether by local or foreign families. And admission for schools here is entirely by merit, at least for secondary school level. Whereas in international schools, they are largely free to decide what their own entry criteria is. Yeah, and having said that, there are local schools that are very popular, and maybe 10-20 years ago, you would have heard of cases where parents have gone to great lengths to try and get their kids into desirable schools. So they would have paid a certain sum of money, or a school would have asked them for donations. And I've heard of some of these cases even now, which have happened a while back.
Right.
But so this would have happened maybe when the children miss the cutoff point by a bit, or are appealing in that process, they would have been asked for donations.
The schools ask, if you donate, we'll let them go in, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know how explicit the asking is, but there's this implicit understanding between the parent and the principals.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so when I also asked the Singapore Hokkien Hui Kwan, which oversees some of these Chinese schools that are quite popular, like Tao Nan, they did acknowledge that when last time when school admission was purely decided by the school management, such practices could have happened.
Right.
Even though now things have changed, and MOE overseas centrally conducts the whole school admission process, whether for primary school or secondary school.
Right.
So all these practices are no longer allowed and forbidden.
I see. So it's all behind us now.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to know more about this story, do head on to www.straitstimes.com where you can access Amelia's full story. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us today.